Hi darkness, you can call me Ghost. I got quite few stories, but this one is not super weird. It's complicated, but I'll let the viewers decide why this happened and why it stopped, since I still don't have an explanation for it. This happened back when I was either a sophomore or junior in high school, 80% sure I was in 10th grade, but I digress. I was at my grandma's house in the back bedroom that I sleep in from time to time. Now this bedroom was normal sized and had a closet on the left side and a window on the right. When you entered you see the window first. There was queen-sized bed and an old VHS tape TV next to a bookshelf. I always played the movie Aladdin on repeat without fail at this house until I was an adult. So this night I was staring dazedly at it since I was completely exhausted. High school, am I right? Anyways, my grandma came in asking if I wanted dinner and I said I was tired but sure, so she went to make me some chili. Well, I ended up falling asleep at the edge of the bed in front of the TV. Next thing I knew I was back in my old house I lived with my mom before she went jail. I was standing in the basement and it looked normal at first with the bathroom and garage door, as well as the sliding door and closet, until I looked outside. The dang backyard was huge with a giant tree and tree house in it. That was not there before, I said to myself. Then I turned to see the grave door was gone, replaced by a glowing white hallway. Oh crap, that's not good, I said as I saw this brown snake-like thing slither down another corridor at the end. Before it proceeded to drag to two grotesque-looking monsters straight out of your worst nightmares imaginable. They proceeded to rip me to shreds and eat me, and I felt all hot and sweaty and in pain when I woke up to my blanket being tied around my throat. As I fought it, I almost decided it was better to not resist and to just die for a second before I decided, no, I'm not going out this way. So I eventually got freed and fell back to sleep after panting a little. No, before I forget, I used to see these monsters in my nightmares a lot, like for years on end, though my nightmares are scary enough to be a great horror movie. Like seriously, what kind of kid dreamed of a cannibal fish trying to eat a teenage mermaid, bear of myself or my family murdering me all the time till I was 9 years old? Always the same glowy hallway and either one or both of them killing me as I mentioned above, and I would feel the pain of it all. Also, I could have sworn I saw a bowl of chili setting on the bookshelf when I got freed by I asked my grandma and she said she doesn't remember that part of what happened. Anyways, after that night I never saw those monsters again, so I truly believe that without having those nightmarish monsters I would be here today to tell this story. I have a story about my grandma's haunted house involving my cousin, Haley, and myself. Sadly, Haley passed away back in 2013 in a terrible car accident, so she will not get to hear our stories told, but I am sure she would love the idea of them being read on Darkness Prevails. First off, Haley and I were always into the idea of ghosts, hauntings, demons, anything. You name it, we were interested in it. We watched a lot of horror movies and TV shows. Her father was big into horror as well, so he usually took us to the theater to see the latest horror movie. Haley and I even went as far as to create our own horror stories along with drawing scary pictures to match. We loved the thrill of being scared together and often huddling under the blankets when things became a bit too scary for us. It was mostly fun and games, but for a few instances. My mom never approved of our fascination in the paranormal. We came from a Catholic family that regularly would attend church on Sunday and said our prayers every night. I had a lot of nightmares as a child and she always blamed it on our creepy interests, which only makes sense. Although to this day I blame most of my fears on our Catholic upbringing. Now about my grandma's house, she had a lot of religious items around the house, being Catholic as well. I never minded them. It was normal for us to see a cross in every room. Even though our grandma was rebellious, she allowed us to watch all the scary movies and shows we could find. She would tell us stories from time to time. One being how she bought an Ouija board for my aunt for one of her birthdays. Our grandma never went into detail about the use of board, but she did mention at one point she had a witch come over to look at the board. I am not sure why or what the witch did, but our grandma kept the board and hid it away in her attic. The attic door was one of those old-style pull-down stairs located in the back room of her house. The attic itself had two parts. Half was a room for storage where the Ouija board would be located and the other half was made into a spare room with two beds. The only way to access the storage part of the attic was this small wooden door with a sliding wood lock. The first story takes place when Haley and I were around the age of 10. One day we were at our grandma's house. It was summer out and we were taking a break from playing outside. My grandma was in the living room watching Judge Judy like she always did in the afternoon. We came in to get some ice cream and went to the back room where we normally would watch TV and movies. That day we were watching a TV show about exorcisms. It was a violent story that had our full attention. Haley and I were glued to the TV as we forgot the world around us. Out of nowhere we heard a noise. A scraping sound coming from the wall next to the couch. Our trance broke away from the TV as we both quickly looked in the direction of the sound. There was a cross hanging on the wall, but it was not just hanging there. It was slowly turning until it stopped directly upside down. Time seemed to slow down as we watched, yet it happened so fast. Haley and I took off screaming, running to get our grandma. We were panicking as we tried to tell her what happened with the cross. Our grandma got up to go check out the cross, we followed reluctantly. We all made it to the back room to find the cross now lying on the floor. Our grandma picked it up. Looking at it, she told us there was no way it could have turned and hung upside down, for it had only been stuck to the wall with blue sticky putty. Haley and I looked at the cross in disbelief, wondering how this could have happened. It did not make sense, but we also know what we saw. I am not sure if she ever believed us, but she took the cross and went back to watch her show in the living room, leaving us alone in that back room. We never did get a solid answer to what happened. I am still wondering to this day.